Good morning, everyone. Back in the car again, running some errands, and I figured I'd come and just talk to you guys. So, I know that, a lot of you are hearing, the prophecy that now, America is really headed towards the doom, towards the final stage. Babylon is getting ready to fall. And I know a lot of people probably can understand, where they getting this from. Just because Joe Biden is in and Trump didn't win, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but it's not about the man. It's not about the president. It's not about them. It's about what they stand for and the laws that they make that will affect the land, the laws that they make that will affect our children, the laws that they make that will change the very way God intended for this life to be for us. And I don't think people realize, if you read your Bible and you go back to the days of Sodom and Gomorrah and what happened back then, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And he still feels the same way about that type of debauchery and everything like that. You have to understand that America has turned its back on God. America has turned its back on Christ. It's a land built up of a whole bunch of narcissists and a whole bunch of people who believe that they're bigger than God, and that's the problem. It's not God's will, and it's never been his will for any of us to perish. But what happens is when you turn your back on God, you open the door for the devil. You open the door for the enemy. Now, we all know that, we face temptation daily. That is something that if you're a human and you live in this world, you're going to be tempted. You understand? Because you got the eye gate, the ear gate. You understand? The gates to your soul will always be, tainted or corrupted by what we see on the television, what we hear on the TV. It's crazy because, when I'm sitting down watching TV, I think I find a show. They draw you in, right? Because they know there's some of us out there who don't want to see that mess or hear that mess. You know what I'm saying? So how they reel us in is that if we knew from the beginning that there would be a whole bunch of homosexuality and different things like that, if they first presented that in the beginning of the shows that we watch, they know that they wouldn't get no airplay from us, and they wouldn't draw us in. But how they draw us in is they're making a feature storyline. You start watching it, and then boom, you got all types of debauchery and all types of stuff going on, right? And this is one of the major problems that is happening because an agenda is being pushed. And at this point, they don't care. Somebody just sent me an article this morning into my DM and Instagram. One of my clients, because we think we kind of think alike. And she sent me this article where Joe Biden signed an executive order for transgenders to be able to go into the girls' locker rooms at school. And a lot of people feel like it's divisive, and a lot of people feel like they're trying to erase what we know, to be women and just men, and just this whole transgender agenda. This whole agenda to wipe out what God created. What did God create in the beginning? He created man and he created woman. And it was his will for us to be fruitful and for us to multiply. And now they're trying to do away with God's way. And do you think that God is going to be okay with that? Even supposed to be Christians and believers elected a person who has antichrist beliefs. This is why America is in trouble, because we had a choice. We had a choice to stand with God and go against the enemy. And we chose to turn our back, not me, but they chose to turn their back on God because they took the narrative that was pushed, that it was about a man and this man is racist and America is going to pot because we're dealing with a race. Listen, racism is a spirit and it's going to always be around. But when you have an agenda being pushed, you have to understand. Why do they keep saying Donald Trump is racist? Donald Trump is racist. This, that, and the third. Okay, if he is, that's his business. He ain't the first and he ain't going to be the last. But what we want to know is where the direction of America, where is it going? And so now everybody's talking about, oh, I'd rather take the lesser of two evils. But when you stand with God, there's no evil. Evil is not to be accepted. We don't choose evil at all when we serve God. And so the problem is that you have people that have literally looked to man to make things work for them, or look to man so that they could be comfortable and they feel like their life is going to change because this person is going to change things and make things better for them, and it's not going to happen. We have taken the wrong turn, and there's no coming back. It's sad to say. But I want everybody to understand why it is being said that America is going down a horrible direction. And I don't believe God is, because God has got to be tired of the choices that everybody makes, knowing that it's wrong. Knowing that it's wrong. But anyway, I'll be back. Going to get my breakfast. Y'all have a blessed day.